What up, everybody? How you guys doing today? Today I'm going to be analyzing the new for 2025 Rapterra at King's Dominion. Alright guys, so this is going to be a new for 2025 roller coaster at King's Dominion, and it is going to be a B&M wing coaster. This is absolutely cool. We've been knowing they're going to be getting a B&M wing coaster for like a couple years now, honestly. But we weren't exactly sure on the layout. Like, at first it was going to be something similar to Heaven's Wing, but now it's not going to be that at all, which I'm frankly really happy about. That layout really did not look that good. I don't think anybody would have been really excited for it. But this looks really good. It's an original layout, and it's a launched B&M wing coaster, which is great. Like everybody is saying with this ride, I do wish there were some near misses. There's not really any of those on this ride. Maybe the trees, but I mean, even if they added a couple little things, they could totally do anything with this. The theming does look really good, though, other than no near misses. Like, I mean, they have these like column things right above the launch track, which look absolutely awesome. I'm actually really happy they went with that and not a thing like a show building like they did with Thunderbird. I'm very happy that they just is going and it goes through these little columns. It's definitely going to help with the capacity, because that's something that might suffer with this ride. There's only 2 trains and they only hold 20 people per train. So that's not good at all. So if this thing was like stopping mid-ride, that would not be good at all. So I definitely see, hopefully that's why they went with that, and that's definitely a good option. This park has not gotten a coaster in a minute. It's been about 6 years since they got Twisted Timbers, and it'll be 7 when this ride opens. So they're definitely due for a roller coaster. I mean, they don't add roller coasters a lot, but it seems like it's getting a little bit better now. Ever since Volcano closed, we definitely needed something in that spot. A lot of people, right as Volcano closed in like 2019, I believe it was, were already like talking about what was going to go here. And finally in 2025, we're getting that coaster. And I do think this ride is going to be a worthy successor. I think definitely the GP will love this ride. They'll eat it up. They usually do with every single wing coaster that opens. So I think this will be no different. Anyways, we're going to go through the POV and look at all the elements in this ride. So you're going to start off with a little turn out of the station. It's going to be a right-hand turn. Not a full 90 degrees, but close. And then you're going to go under these columns into the launch track and launch at 65 miles per hour, I believe. Hopefully this launch will have some pretty good kick to it. From what I've heard, the one on Thunderbird does. So I'm hoping this one does too. Then you're going to go into an overbank turn. A pretty big one, I believe. It's like 145 feet, something like that. Which is pretty cool. I don't see this thing having a ton of force. Maybe into the pullouts it will. But in terms of like up there, you're not going to really get anything. Maybe even some of the laterals like slowing down depending on how fast or slow this thing is running. But I don't see this element being too great on the ride, but maybe it will. I don't know. Then it's going to go down into this dive loop, which looks pretty fun. Dive loops are always great. I definitely prefer them to Immelmann's. It's always just more fun diving down than going back up. Immelmann's never really do it for me. Sometimes like the one in Alpengeist is pretty good, but dive loops are just generally always better than Immelmann's. Hopefully it'll have a little bit of force with it. Then you're going to go into this sideways airtime hill, like a turning airtime hill. I'm blanking on what it's actually called. A twisted airtime hill. There it is. That's what you're going to go into. I don't see this having any airtime, but definitely some cool laterals up there, hopefully. I definitely think there will be, just because, I mean, you're so far away from the track, and even with a regular twisted airtime hill, they're usually pretty fun. So being so far away from the track, I definitely think you will get some laterals. And then you're going to go down into this helix, which I do think will have some force. I'm expecting some force. I will be disappointed if there's not even a little bit, but I wouldn't be surprised. You're going to go, into this helix, and then you're going to kind of level out, like kind of like a wave turn-like thing. Not really, but kind of reminds me of that little turn on Cannymonium. Then after that, I believe you go right into a long corkscrew, like to the side, like a long to the side corkscrew. I'm not expecting a ton from this, maybe a little bit of hang time, but I do see this being one of the more dull elements on the ride. Then right after that, you have a airtime hill, which is basically just a speed hill with no speed. Definitely looks like the dull on the ride. Like, I mean, that one before didn't look amazing, but this definitely looks like the one because, I mean, maybe it's going to surprise us. Who knows? But airtime hills on wing coasters just never really deliver. That one on Gatekeeper doesn't, and that one on Wild Eagle doesn't. So I don't expect this to have any airtime, but maybe. I doubt it though. Then I believe the last element, they're calling this a Raptor roll or something like that. It's just basically a Heartline 0G roll looking thing. And it doesn't look like it's going to have really any hang time, maybe a little bit of laterals, but not much. You're not going slow enough to the point where you're going to get a bunch of hang time, but you're also not going fast enough for it to where it's going to whip you. So I think this element could end up being good. I'm just not exactly sure which force it's going to have. I guess it might depend when you're riding. And then you're going to go through this little turn, which hopefully will have a little bit of force, but I doubt it. And you're going to just slide right into the brake run. Overall, this layout does look pretty unique. I'm definitely glad they went with this layout over Heaven's Wing, because that would just be not cool. Because it's basically an existing ride and it hasn't gotten great reviews. One thing I do hope with this ride is that it is smooth. I've heard a lot of the roller coasters made by B&M have been a little bit shaky lately. Even the new family coaster at SeaWorld Orlando and the new Nemesis, I've heard, has a little shuffle to it. So I'm hopefully this ride will. I mean, Orion had the same issue. I haven't heard much about Pipeline the Surf Coaster in terms of roughness. I've just heard a lot of people raving about that ride. I haven't heard anything with Phoenix Rising yet, but this ride I just really hope is smooth, because especially on a wing coaster that could get bad, especially on like an outside seat. But I want to hear your guys' opinion on Rapterra at King's Dominion. I think it's going to be a great ride and a very welcome addition to the park. I'm definitely going to be picking up a hoodie or a shirt whenever they put them online. I would love to wear one. I will leave a link to my merch store in the description below. And other than that, aim high, not low, and never quit. Peace.